On a chilly Saturday morning in Columbia, Missouri, two teams on the rise in the SEC get set to battle. Missouri, Florida, next on CBS. The road to the Final Four has taken us deep into the heart of SEC country. Mizzou Arena, Columbia, Missouri, today for the Florida Gators and the Missouri Tigers on CBS. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Spiro Dedes. Last season, this Missouri men's basketball program suffered through its worst season in 50 years. But enter Cuonzo Martin as their new head coach, and suddenly there is a feeling of optimism here in Columbia. Already off to an 11-3 start, and earlier this week at South Carolina, they went out and got their first road win in SEC play in nearly 4 years. And as I bring in my broadcast partner, the great Clark Kellogg, Clark, there is a feeling of hope that they have not had here the last couple of years.
Good reason for that. This looks to me, Spiro, like a tournament team the way they've played thus far. And Cuonzo Martin, one of the outstanding young coaches in the game. Everywhere he's been, his teams have epitomized grit and toughness, and no player epitomizes or embodies that more than the senior Jordan Barnett. 19 points a game in his last 9, and he's doing it at a highly efficient level, making threes, getting to the rim, and finishing in transition. Chris Chiozza is one of my favorite players to watch in all of college basketball. The little big man does everything, scores, assists, steals. He makes the Florida Gators go.
Got Chiozza, big hand in Florida's big road win earlier this week at then 11th ranked Texas A&M. Clark, all that said, how about our AT&T fast analysis?
Well, the Gators like to shoot threes, and they do it best when they're able to get into transition. Defensive stops, Chiozza pushing it quickly, and then looking for open shooters. Kulichov, dangerous and lethal from behind the three-point line, but you see the quick push, the spacing, and then the three at the end of it. For Missouri, they've got an advantage inside, and I would expect them to try to capitalize on that. Jeremiah Tillman, the outstanding young freshman, watch him beat this double team. Actually, it was a triple team with the quick drop step and finish. Mizzou wants to do it inside. The Gators are going to try to do it from the three-point line.
All right, so the table is set. Florida and Missouri starting lineups in the tip next. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by AT&T. Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. And by Jersey Mike Subs, be a sub above. Plenty of buzz inside Mizzou Arena as we are just about ready for the Florida Gators and the Missouri Tigers as they meet for the first time. Critical early season match in the SEC. Big story here for the Tigers yesterday, the departure of Blake Harris, their freshman point guard, who was playing pretty decent minutes, had been a spot starter. So dismayed with his role a bit, so the announcement made yesterday by Harris and his family that he would be leaving the program and has been granted his release. Second player that has departed the program since Cuonzo Martin took over, but this program is resurgent, as we touched on at the top, as they are off to a terrific 11-3 start. So a little bit of a influx situation at the point guard position. Jordan Geis, who has started their last couple of games, and Cassius Robertson will continue to start in the backcourt. And meantime for Florida, you know about Chris Chiozza and Igor Kulichov, who SEC and college basketball fans probably don't know much about yet, has been very, very good early on for Mike White, the 40-year-old third season head coach of this Gators program. And boy, it didn't take him very long to put his stamp on Florida men's basketball.
Spiro, we've got two of the outstanding young coaches in college basketball in this game today, and Mike White and Cuonzo Martin. And Cuonzo, in his early season, has put a pretty good stamp on this program as well. Toughness and grit and success.
Martin making his fourth head coaching stop, much closer to home. Born in St. Louis and grew up on the other side of the Mississippi River in East St. Louis in Illinois. So the Gators in orange with possession to start this game. Here comes Chiozza down the paint. Outside to Kavalius Harris. Chiozza a little bit too much, and Kevin Puryear able to clean the glass for the Tigers.
Nice execution of the defensive game plan on that possession by the Tigers, defending Chiozza well and forcing him to take a perimeter shot.
This is Jeremiah Tillman, a big, strong freshman from the same hometown as his head coach, Cuonzo Martin. Grew up in East St. Louis, and very quickly, Tillman able to earn a couple of free throws.
Yeah, he's averaging 19 minutes a game, has been Dairy Queen 3 times because of fouls. But here, one-on-one coverage, takes his time and gets himself to the foul line. I would expect to see a steady diet of that from Missouri in the half court. They've got an advantage inside, and they'll try to exploit it.
Kayvon Allen was whistled for the foul. So here's Tillman, the freshman, 4-star prospect, originally committed to Illinois. And then, of course, the head coaching change there. Brad Underwood taking over. Initially said that he would stay, but had a change of heart. And his connection, of course, to Cuonzo Martin in East St. Louis weighing into that decision.
And the Tigers glad it changed that way because he's a terrific prospect. Big, strong body, excellent toughness, good hands. He should be able to do work inside.
Missouri earlier this week went to South Carolina and beat the Gamecocks in what was their first road win in conference play in 4 years. Really signifying the progress that they're making quickly under Cuonzo Martin. This is Puryear. Everything but the finish, and then knocked out of bounds underneath by Chiozza. Shot clock resets.
Yeah, we call everything but the finish donuts and no milk. Puryear has really got a nice inside-outside game. They'd like to see him be inside a little more. He's improved as a shooter, and that time left an opportunity to finish short.
It is Saturday morning. Donuts, cartoons.
Yeah, you got it.
I remember those days. Here comes Chiozza down the paint. Knocked out of his hands by Geist and able to recover. Excellent defense by Geist underneath. This is Keith Stone, who was terrific in their victory early this week at Texas A&M. Shot clock into the single digits. Allen outside to Kulichov. What does he do with 3 to shoot? Fakes. That's a long 2, and he sticks it. What a shot for the Russian national, who tied his season high of 19 points in the win at A&M.
Yeah, he's been very efficient. When he's been good, he's been very good. That time, Missouri played great defense until biting on the shot fake.
I should say a team high for Kulichov in that game. He actually had a 34-point outing in his first game of the season. This is a turnaround from Puryear. Good-looking turnaround from the junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. And a good offensive start for the Tigers.
And early on, you see they're intentional about getting that ball inside. Tillman on the post-up. Puryear on the post-up there as well.
Here comes Chiozza down the paint. Absorbing contact. The putback attempt from Harris won't go. And then Cassius Robertson is able to save, the senior out of Toronto, who's been very good, the graduate transfer from Canisius College out in Buffalo, New York. Still plenty of time to shoot. Missouri wants to attack with their bigs underneath. Florida a little bit soft, Clark, on the interior.
No question about it. That's the right strategy. And then you've got to spot shooters in transition if you're Missouri, because the Gators do a nice job of spacing the floor and running the floor when they come up with defensive rebounds.
Foul charged underneath to Jeremiah Tillman is his first. Mike White still playing without his very talented center, John Igbunu, of course, went down with the ACL injury last year.
Right.
Was able to lead them to an appearance in the Elite Eight, despite his absence, nearing his return, Clark.
Yeah, he's still a few weeks away. Spiro has not started doing any basketball-specific work yet, as Kulichov gets a good look on that baseline out-of-bounds play. But Mike White optimistic that he could be back on the court end of January, perhaps.
Florida struggling so far with their shooting. They've missed 5 of their first 6. This is Geist. Feeds Jonte Porter underneath. Outside look at the 3, and that is Barnett, who has been red hot. 19 points on just 9 field goal attempts in their win at South Carolina. He hit 4 threes in that game. Picks up where he left off.
Well, during this 9-game stretch where he's averaged 19 points a game, Spiro, he's been part of the 50-40-90 club. 50% from two-point range, over 40 from three, and over 90 from the line. Very few guys do that at any level of basketball. Good action here. Throw it inside. Jontay Porter, who has a tremendous feel for the game, feels the double team, recognizes the diagonal passes available to Barnett, and they make him pay.
Jontay, of course, the brother of Michael Porter, the #1 rated high school prospect who has played all of 2 minutes so far this season. Went down with that back injury after their opening game back in November. Good looking turnaround underneath from Tillman, in and out. And Keith Stone able to clean the glass. So Florida just trying to absorb this early punch from the Tigers, only down 5 despite their offensive issues, and we'll get a timeout with 15 and change left before halftime. Early season road test for the Gators, right now down 5. Early season standings in the SEC conference that everyone, Clark, is talking about. So deep and so talented, and you like Auburn.
I do. I like what Bruce Pearl has been able to do with that group. They're active. They get into you defensively. 9 or 10 guys play double digits. Bryce Brown is playing well and leading the young players. Mustafa Heron, Okiki, nice outstanding freshman. Those guys are playing at a high level. You look at 10 teams in the top 60 of the RPI. This is the strongest I think the SEC has been, top, middle, and bottom, in probably a decade or more, Spiro. And a credit to the teams, the programs for going out and being more aggressive in the non-conference schedule. And obviously outstanding coaches and recruiting all play a part in how your conference rates nationally, and the SEC moving up.
That is Harris on the inbounds from Chiozza, able to draw contact and free throws. And boy, this was the year that, you know, even for John Calipari standards, Kentucky, an awfully young team, very little experience on that roster. Was this the year that they finally took a step back? I tell you what, we saw them last week. They blew out Louisville at home. Seemed to be figuring some things out out there in Lexington.
I said it a couple of weeks ago in the studio. I thought Ohio State would be the most surprising of the 4 teams in the CBS Sports Classic. And I thought Kentucky would be like yeast and keep rising. And that's what's going to happen with that Kentucky Wildcats team. Outstanding young players, tremendous talent, outstanding coaching, and they'll continue to get better as the season goes on.
I'll tell you what, Florida has already taken more free throws than they did in their win at A&M earlier this week. That was the first time a team beat a ranked opponent without making a free throw back to as far as 1996, as far as it was searchable. Just made that win even more impressive out of College Station.
Well, when you make a bunch of threes and shoot close to 60%, you can dismiss the need for free throws. They had 25 assists in that game, Bill, just 7 turnovers. Made 17 triples. Boy, I tell you what, Missouri off to a terrific start offensively. Playing inside out, they've scored on 2 post-ups and then 2 threes.
That's an open look at a 3 in the corner. Jalen Hudson, their leading scorer, who's been coming off the bench the last 2 games.
Recovering from an illness, wasn't able to practice much during that stretch, but he's an explosive offensive player.
And Mike White told us yesterday, kind of likes Hudson now in that 6th-man role coming in off the bench. That's Keith Stone. And the officials say offensive interference as Hayes trying to tip it in underneath.
And then he's going to get right out there. And we've got action. Just runs his defender into a little brush screen on Robertson, and that's a catch and shoot. And that is Jalen Hudson's strength, catching and firing.
Hudson, a junior out of Richmond, Virginia, came back ill after the Christmas break. But just seems to be back to full strength, and a good start for him with that deep corner 3. Florida had those prolific scoring games earlier in the season, actually hit for 100 points in 4 of their first 5 games. They kind of tapered off. But that 3-point shot has been lethal for them at times this season. Whistle blown as Barnett is fouled. We'll see if the officials, what they say here, they say it will be a 2-point shooting situation for Barnett. Foul charge to Chiozza. There's Mike White, the 40-year-old head coach. His Gators started the season, Clark, ranked 8th in the AP preseason poll, got as high as 5th before that 3-game losing streak late November, early December. Still trying to find out who they are.
Exactly, searching for the identity. He knew that the shots they were making early on, that rate of shot making would not continue. Let's take a look at this Barnett jumper, ball fake. Chiozza leaves, and it's hard to tell from behind Barnett whether he got a toe on the line. My guess is it was perhaps a 2, but not conclusive from that angle. Let's take another look. Here we go, maybe a better look. Step back. Wow, looks like he's got the foot on the line to me, Spiro. But anyway, Mike White talked to us yesterday about identity, making a lot of shots early, hiding some deficiencies, and now finding themselves where they're beginning to recognize how important the defensive end of the floor is going to need to be for them to be successful, and also how to be more effective offensively if the game isn't an open court, wide open game. And they're finding that here today because Missouri has controlled pace, and it's been primarily a half-court game to this point.
Now, the SEC, what most college basketball fans won't know, is experimenting with a tweak to their instant replay process. Their headquarters back in Birmingham involved in the replay review process. Final say is still with the officials on site, but kind of like the NFL does with their officiating headquarters in New York. The difference being NFL officials, of course, have to bow to New York for the final say. Not the case in the SEC, and so far coaches have liked it.
Yep.
And it's been a nice little tweak to that process.
Yeah, it's a complimentary tool in the effort to get it right.
This is Kulichov finding his spot, a little bit short.
Good challenge by Jonte Porter there, which he does well because the 6'11" kid can really move his feet.
This is Terrence Phillips coming in off the bench. He's a 2-year starter. And so this year with a deeper Missouri team, he's been a reserve player for Cuonzo Martin and has been solid. And a call here, a traveling violation, and that is turnover number 3 committed by the Tigers.
That's been the Achilles heel when you look at Missouri. They shoot the 3 at a high rate, make 2s at a high rate, but 15 turnovers a game. And they're -3 in turnover margin, meaning they commit 3 more turnovers per game than they force.
Missouri 7-0 at home, undefeated. Start turnaround from the team that they were here the last couple of years. And corner 3-pointer was a little bit short from DeAndre Ballard, who was playing a bit under the weather today. It was a question mark if he'd be able to go, but trying to grit through it. And some nice moments for them in their victory earlier this week at Texas A&M. This is Porter. Turns and gets the friendly roll on that pretty fall-away shot for his first points of the day.
Well, he got that one down, but he had the much smaller Chiozza on him. I don't know why he ended up shooting a fadeaway. I think he was off balance there, but you can see a concentrated effort by Missouri to throw that ball inside. Florida going to have to try to pressure the passer more, and at the offensive end, they don't have to worry about buckets because Jalen Hudson can get them in a hurry.
Averages just under 17 points per game. What a luxury he has been off the bench the last couple for Mike White. He's got a half dozen already.
There's Chiozza still trying to defend Porter, which means a double team comes and Barnett makes them pay again. Missouri's got it all going, Spiro, because they're playing inside out. And Florida is yet to figure out how to rotate out of their double teaming action.
Timeout taken as Florida absorbing the early barrage by the Tigers. Money Monday, it's a can't miss Colbert. Steven's got Michael Wolff, author of the explosive new White House book, Fire and Fury, plus Liam Neeson. New Colbert Monday. Score now officially 19-10. There was a question mark whether that last Missouri basket would be counted, as we had an inadvertent horn towards the end of the play. Right there after the Barnett three, with a Barnett long-range shot. And there you see the bucket kind of towards the end of the play. It looked like Igor Kulichov and some of the Florida players, Clark, were a bit confused, and the officials still looking at the instant replay.
Yeah, I think clearly there was some confusion on the part, or distraction on the part of Kulichov, but he still was quite casual with that pass. I mean, he just was making an assumption pass, and I don't know if they can change anything in regards to the basket.
It's a good veteran crew here today. Don Daly, pictured there on your right, with Olandis Poole and Garrett Shannon. So 19-10 Missouri, 9-point lead. Tigers have come out firing 6 of their first 9 from the field. They've hit 3 of 3 Clark from deep. Something that Cuonzo Martin has had to get used to. Kind of a defensive-minded coach in his past few years, but he is welcoming this kind of new age approach to basketball with the long-range shot.
Yeah, that was fun hearing him talk about his growth as a coach, and we often look at how players develop and grow and what are some of their changes from one season to the next. Well, coaches go through the same thing, and Cuonzo, 70-30 defense to offense prior to getting here. Now he says it's more 50-50 in terms of his practices and focus, defense to offense now.
Good looking drive by Kayvon Allen, the preseason first team All-SEC selection. His first points of the day. Allen's scoring average down from 14 last year to just under 12 this year. Jontay Porter filling it up. And Missouri just keeps on firing.
They're getting great quality looks at the basket. Playing inside out. Florida went to a zone that time, but the big fella Porter can step out and make threes. He made 5 of them in that win against South Carolina, on his way to a career high thus far of 19.
Officials say last touch by Stone, so Missouri will have it.
Against the zone, you've got to tag shooters. The big guy just relocates. Ball movement is excellent. And the challenge is late by Gak. So Florida having a tough time stopping the Tigers. They're going to go back now. It looks as though they're man-to-man now.
Biggest lead of the day for Missouri. A team that has set a new program record for made threes through the first 14 games of the season. 14th in the country in three-point accuracy, and that has certainly carried through so far in this first half.
See, they're getting the mismatch here, and there's a tip in by Barnett. He has been phenomenal. But they're getting the mismatch because Florida is so small, and when the switch happens, that means the small guy is on either Puryear or Porter, and the Tigers making them pay.
Barnett, with 13 of Missouri's 24 points, has done a little bit of everything. Allen nearly tied up Geist right in his chest. 6 to shoot.
And they're defending, too. Nothing easy here for Florida. And finally, Stone aggressively attacks and draws the foul. How about Barnett? Good post up here, as you see. Puryear had the advantage, but Barnett able to chase down the missed shot and tap it back in. Found it interesting that Barnett's efficiency, 19 points a game over his last 9, 50-40-90 club, is directly correlated to the fact that Cuonzo Martin reduced his menu option. He has to shoot threes, straight line drives, or putbacks. No pull-up jumpers, and he's really flourished with that limited menu.
Crowd didn't like that call, as Florida will have free throws. Cassius Robertson whistled for his first, and so Gorjak Gak, the sophomore out of Sydney, will step to the free throw line for 2. And that was interesting indeed. Barnett, you think who has free reign, averaging The most points of any player this season on a short leash. Get the CBS Sports app, inside access to your favorite teams. Watch highlights, get breaking news, scores, and more. Download the CBS Sports app today. Barnett at just over 15 points per game, had 19 in their victory earlier this week in South Carolina. He's been off the charts. It's Cassius Robertson. And Dak with the rebound in the corner.
Well, here Florida gets a chance to try to get something in transition after finally stopping Missouri, and they get a bucket. So that's a big thing to keep an eye on. Can Florida get stops and ignite its transition game, because that's when this team thrives, in the open court.
And Mike White said he needs his freshmen to start to figure some things out. Michael Cora with that last little floater to bring the Gators to within single digits. This is Kulichov, a graduate transfer, born in Russia. And able to put it on the deck. He's a crafty player. Was one of the top graduate transfers on the market in the offseason. Florida found out he was available, quickly pounced. Mike White with a phone call. And Kulichov has been one of their better performers so far this season. Whistle blown here on Kevin Puryear. That is his second. So he will sit for Cuonzo Martin at the 9:38 mark of this first half. Allen inside, Hudson able to find an opening. And just like that, it's a 7-point game.
Good execution on the baseline out of bounds thus far for Florida. I know 5 points have come from Hudson.
Hudson's got 8 points in 5 minutes off the bench. This is Barnett.
Not a good shot there. One pass and then a challenge jumper, and here comes Florida in the open court. Good job by Missouri to get back defensively.
This is Michael Coro, the freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Rated as the #8 high school player in that state last year. And Kulichov showing the craftiness.
That's what I'm chuckling, because that's all that was. That was old school playground craftiness there. Little fellow on him, don't rush it. Get the shot you want and knock it down.
What a pass! Porter to Barnett. Boy, how good is this kid, Jontay Porter? All the talk about his brother, Michael.
Yeah, man, you took the words right out of my head. This kid is terrific, moves his feet, has tremendous basketball sense.
Okoro spinning, Kulichov open, and he buries the three.
So does he.
And here come the Gators suddenly within 4 in the blink of an eye as a whistle is blown against the Gators at the other end of the floor.
Spiro, this looks like you operating in the post. You got a smaller guy down there. Take your time, and then a nice soft floater over the defender, and then Jontay Porter. He's 6'11", folks. Pump fake, 2 bounces, and then drop a dime. That's guard-like there.
It's been a fun first half. Florida, of course, their Elite 8 run last year. Missouri turning the page after one of the worst seasons in their program's history. Last year, just 8 wins. Actually, their worst season in 50 years. Nice to see the juice back in this
without question
building here in Columbia.
For sure. Pick and pop. Oh, he didn't catch it clean.
Porter off the dribble. Wasn't even close.
I think all because of the catch, or the lack of a clean catch.
See, Florida's offense struggled at the start, but they've hit 6 of their last 9 shots.
Good offensive team here, and they're executing well. They've got shot makers, Kulichov, Hudson. Those have been the guys that have been getting it done here lately.
Hudson taking on Porter, a rare miss. And the rebound cleared by Cullen Van Leer, the junior for the Tigers. This is Phillips as we come up on the 7-minute mark before halftime. This is Porter. Inside, muscles his way underneath against Hayes. And the rebound is pulled by Kulichov.
No double that time by Florida. Stayed at home and forced a tough shot.
Floater won't go from the graduate transfer. And up the floor comes Phillips. Missouri, if you've just joined us, has led by as many as 10. They were up 22-12 at the 11:40 mark of the half. About 5 minutes later Florida's right back into it within 4 and a chance to cut into the deficit further. Gators at 10-4. They've won their first 2 games in SEC play, including the win at number 11 A&M earlier this week on Tuesday. Kulichov, as they try to tie him up, but the officials say reach-in foul as Kulichov is knocked to the deck. Critical SEC battle in Columbia on CBS. We talked about Jordan Barnett at the top, their leading scorer, and he is not disappointed so far.
Not at all. Extremely efficient because he stays within the parameters that Cuonzo Martin has given him. Threes, straight line drives, transition hoops, putbacks. And there you see the summary. We thought this would be a snug one, partner, and so far after the early punch by Missouri, Florida has responded nicely.
Early game summary at the 6:25 mark of the first half as we welcome you back, Spero Dedes and Clark Kellogg. We expected this to be hotly contested. Both of these teams coming in off big road wins in conference play, and this is a big test.
Hey, roadkill in conference play, man, is huge. No matter what the conference, because it's so hard. And it's even more important that you defend the home court for that reason. So Missouri looking to get a little bit up on the field, if you will, with a road win and perhaps a home win if they can handle the rest of this one. But Florida, very game and adjusted a little defensively, I thought. Not nearly as frazzled defensively. Stopped double teaming the post. Stayed at home. And this guy, Kulichov, continues to knock down free throws at a high rate. That's, what, 32 straight for him now?
Yes, it has. One of the top free throw shooters in the country. Enters the day 3rd in Division I, 98%. And that old broadcaster's jinx.
No, don't even go there. He shot that one flat and hard. Had nothing to do with what I said.
This is Van Leer in the corner. That's it, 3. He's played a ton of minutes for them over the years. Over 20 minutes as a reserve last year. Bit of a reduced role this season. With a big 3 there off the bench.
Well, with the transfer of Blake Harris, Van Leer moved up into the rotation, and Cuonzo Martin said he wishes Harris well, but we'll continue to do what we do, catch and shoot for Barnett, sure.
Well, Barnett doesn't need much time or space. But Cuonzo told us before the game he doesn't mind those contested threes as Jalen Hudson is fouled on a 3-shot attempt. So 3 free throws coming up for the junior out of Richmond. Well, tomorrow on CBS, she's close to Vladimir Putin and one of the most powerful women in Russia. Don't miss a fiery interview. Plus, can murder be predicted? An experimental computer program is trying to do just that tomorrow on 60 Minutes. So here is Jalen Hudson, Gators' leading scorer, off the bench today for a 3rd straight game. Just under 17 points per game. He's a 67% free throw shooter.
And you talk about him coming off the bench as the leading scorer. We talked to Mike White as he rattles that free throw around. You know, the dynamics of team are very fragile. So you kind of feel your way through it. Would he be able to start? Sure, but Mike White kind of likes being able to bring that offensive punch into the game off the bench as he misses 2 free throws there. So you continue to try to figure out what roles are best for your team to be successful.
The other interesting thing that White told us yesterday is how quiet a group this is. He's still trying to figure out who his leaders are. Just not many vocal players on this team.
No, they are not garrulous, that's for sure. And you need to talk because Frank Vogel, the former Pacers head coach and now the current head coach of the Magic, said talking is energy and energy is execution. And so young players often don't make that correlation. It's hard sometimes for young players to talk and understand how important it is to being able to bring energy and execution. And if your personality is not such, you have to figure out a way to break out of that comfort zone for the benefit of the team. And that's a work in progress for the Gators.
Chris Chiozza quiet so far in his first half. Still looking for his first points. Barnett, meantime, snagging his 5th rebound already. It's Robertson coming down the paint, knocked out of his hands, and Missouri will inbound with 17 to shoot.
And Robertson has been relatively quiet, leads his team in scoring as well. I don't know if he scored yet, has he, Spiro?
He has not. He's missed his 3 shots. Scoreless in 13 minutes, and this is a kid who comes in red hot. 23 points in the win at South Carolina. 3rd straight 20-point game. But so far, a goose egg in this first half. 2-on-1 break. Allen running the lane. Well contested by Geist. Cuonzo Martin loves this kid, Jordan Geist, who's now thrust into an even bigger role after the departure of the freshman Blake Harris.
Look at Chiozza doing a nice job moving his feet. They got to go right back to him. Robertson's going. He came off the block now.
Puryear wants Chiozza, turns, puts it down, and he is fouled.
It's not always easy, but it certainly isn't complicated. You get a mismatch like that, there's nowhere else to go with the ball but right back there. Puryear got the little fella C-squared down there, and that's a mismatch. Chiozza got the worst of it. That's a work hazard. That's all that is.
So here's Puryear at the free throw line, the junior whose lifelong dream, according to Cuonzo Martin, was to play for Missouri. What a career he's had here, the junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. He's got 5 points. Tigers lead back to 8. This is Hayes. Wide open jumper from the elbow, won't go, and the rebound cleared by Geist.
Looks like Cuonzo Martin wants to try to attack inside again.
Geist, the junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Out to Phillips, and the Tigers reset.
Good job here so far by Florida defensively.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Chiozza, so the Tigers will inbound with 8 to shoot when we come back. Well, it's been a short but eventful career in Columbia, Missouri. From Michael Porter Jr., signed with the Tigers in April as the #1 overall recruit in the country, named preseason AP All-America, but he played just 2 minutes in their season opener against Iowa State. That back injury removed himself from the game, underwent spinal surgery on November the 21st. The initial diagnosis was that he would most likely be out for the season. He said recently, a few days ago, that he is still holding out hope that he could return this season. We asked Cuonzo Martin about it. He anticipates, Clark, that within the next couple of weeks, Porter will sit down with his family and his doctors, at which point they'll make a decision on whether or not he'll try to return.
As it should be. Talented young man. I just saw clips of him in high school, but I've known the family for a while. They're from Indianapolis originally, and the young man has tremendous talent, and that will be a family and medical decision at some point. And I hope he continues to progress in his recovery and gets out on the court whenever it's time for him to be back out on the floor.
Rare miss for Barnett. It has been a terrific first half for him. Boy, this kid off the bench has been very good. Mike Okoro, one of the freshmen. It's Mike White, who's really starting to lean on the last couple of days. Second bucket off the bench. He has 5 for the Gators. It's Robertson maneuvering and is fouled off the dribble. Another look at the corner 3 from Okoro.
Penetration and pitch. Leave that corner 3 open. It's so hard to get defenders not to cheat off of that corner 3-point shooter, because it's such a habit and instinct when the ball is penetrating that you try to help. But that's what offenses count on. Pinch in on the penetration, and that corner 3 is the highest percentage 3 you can shoot.
Okoro last year helping Brewster Academy to a national high school championship. As one of their star players, and now doing it for Mike White in Florida. Here's Barnett, contested 3. So just past the 3-minute mark, first half. Gators have trailed by as many as 10, and they just keep on coming.
Yes. Very impressive. The resilience, the grit. I'm sure Mike White pleased with that, because this has not been the type of game that Florida most likes to play, an up and down open court game. It's been more of a half-court grinder. But so far, so good for the Gators. They've had a couple of segments where Missouri has been able to assert itself inside, but to the Gators' credit, ball movement, knocking down some shots, competing on defense and on the glass.
That last basket for Keith Stone was his first of the day and his first points. Foul charge to Okoro. Sorry, Clark, his first.
Yeah, he's coming off one of his, actually his season high. In the last game, Stone had 18, made 4 of 6 from the three-point line. And then win against Texas A&M. And here's Florida now with a chance to get closer or perhaps tie if they get a three-zone defense by Missouri now. Want to try to contain the dribble penetration in this zone.
Here's Ballard, the young man who's playing under the weather today. Still looking for his first points, nearly lost it. Kulichov bangs in a three, contested with the shot clock winding down.
Line drive. Bucket for Kulichov and the Gators. Right back even.
And Kulichov with 11 for Florida. Offensive foul underneath. The officials are going to get Jeremiah Tillman, a big, strong freshman out of East St. Louis, and that is his third personal, and he will sit.
Boy, that was a tough make, fighting the shot clock. Loose ball scrum. Bucket for Kulichov. And Jeremiah Tillman Jr., 3 fouls. He's been Dairy Queen 3 times, and that's been the issue with this young, outstanding freshman. Loves the physical play and sometimes is overzealous with it.
And the Florida Gators with their first lead of the day as Keith Stone with his second bucket in the last minute. Gators are racing a 10-point deficit, actually trailed by 10 2 different times in the half, but have come back to take the lead. Fadeaway three, that is Robertson. First points for Cassius Robertson, a senior out of Toronto, who entered the day scoring at least 20 in each of their last 3 games. And that ends a 10-0 Gators run. Stone, backdoor, Ballard, pretty reverse finish.
How about that pass? Well, they like Stone's ability to play inside and out. He's got a wide body, good hands and touch, and showed you nice vision there.
Ballard, the freshman out of Atlanta. Same high school that produced Dwight Howard, Southwest Atlanta Christian. Robertson. So 22 seconds left before halftime. This is Kulichov. Florida will try to take a lead into the intermission after trailing by as many as 10. Seconds. Okoro for the lead. Rebound Geist. And that takes us to halftime here in Columbia, Missouri. A reminder coming up next, AT&T at the half. Adam and Seth will have first half analysis and highlights. Get you caught up on all of today's college basketball action, including the top 15 battle between North Carolina and Virginia. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. So the Gators down by as many as 10, up 1 as we reach halftime, 36-35. Time now for AT&T at the half. We go to Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, thanks, Spiro. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Seth Davis joins me for first half analysis, and we'll get you caught up on today's top 25 action after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
All right, hello, everyone, and welcome to AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker alongside Seth Davis, and things turned around there in Columbia. Florida now up 1 after trailing by 12. That was one big Gator run just now.
Well, it was a 24-11 stretch at the end of the first half, and it wasn't like one of those quick explosive spurts that we've seen from Florida. It was a steady progression from that deficit. And the problem for Missouri right now is foul trouble in the front court. 7 fouls between those 3 guys. Jonte Porter was doing great, picked up a second, had to go to the bench. That is Missouri's strength, and they have to stop turning it over.
And watch out for Igor The Gators on top. All right, let's go to the scoreboard now. And elsewhere in the SEC, Alabama and Georgia. It's all anybody's talking about. And then there's Monday's game, in football. But in basketball, Deontay Mayton, the second leading scorer in the SEC, and Georgia off and running here.
I knew you couldn't get away with without getting in your football reference. And, here's Alabama, by the way, 0-2 in the SEC. You wonder if the strength of this league is going to hurt a team like Alabama as they're going to drop to 1-2 now in the SEC. That's not looking good for them.
And if you divide this score by 3, you get the final for Monday.
There you go.
Mark that down.
All right.
Decimals included.
Is that your pick?
Whoa. Chris Mack, he would tie Pete Gillen with a win for Xavier against one of Pete Gillen's old schools, Jalen Lindsey, and the Friars, though, up 11 here.
Yeah, very important for Providence to be able to hold home court. They just lost at home to Marquette. In overtime, gave up 52 points to Marcus Howard, but looking good today. Kyron Cartwright, we normally think of him as a distributor, Adam, from the point guard position. He has shot the ball well today there, making the three-pointer, and it looks like the Friars are going to prevail at the dunk.
Up by 9 right now. Cartwright coming off a career-high 29, and he's got 18, looking to take down number 5. All right, North Carolina going to their house of horrors. They've lost the last 4 at Virginia, and the story of the first half, steals and slams for the Cavs.
Yeah, Virginia looking really good. They hung a lot of points on Virginia Tech last week, so they are capable of getting into an up-tempo game, but they're doing a very good job here so far, managing the pace, and they can knock down shots in the half court. That was Devin Hall with the corner 3, and then Hall going to get the steal and the dunk. North Carolina, 32% shooting in the first half. That's what happens when you play against a Tony Bennett coach team.
And Virginia 15-0 points off turnovers in that first half. All right, Clemson trying to get to 3-0 in the ACC for the first time in 11 years at home against Louisville, and they're up by 1. A tight game.
Love this Clemson team coming in 13-1 overall. Just won at Boston College. Ask Duke how hard that is to do. Marquise Reed going to knock down the three-pointer. We saw Louisville get crushed by Kentucky. They had a nice win at home over Pittsburgh, and this one is still going on in overtime. I like this Clemson Tigers team, Adam.
Up by 4 right now. Marquise Reed with 23 in this thing. All right, 2 teams still looking for their first win in conference play. Virginia Tech at home against Pitt. And here come the Hokies on the break.
Yeah, they like to get out and go. Nickeil Alexander-Walker going to put it in as the half expires. And this is little Justin Robinson going to finish it on the fast break. This one is Pittsburgh had a nice lead on Virginia Tech, but it looks like the Hokies now getting ready to close it out at home. And an important win for Buzz Williams after they got blitzed by Virginia.
And it is a final now, and that is 0-3 for Pitt, and it'll be all 3 by double digits to start conference play. Not good. Speaking of double digits, Kyrie Thomas and Creighton all over Georgetown in D.C., Seth.
I was going to say, speaking of not good, ladies and gentlemen, your Georgetown Hoyas today who got absolutely run out of their own gym. Toby Hegner knocking down the 3, and then Davion Mintz going to add a 3 of his own. This one was never close. Blue Jays are rolling.
Creighton getting it done 90-66. Toby Hegner with a big game, 5 of 8 from 3. From the Big Ten, Michigan by 10 over Illinois. Mo Wagner, he's out there.
Mo Buckets.
Bruising his foot and all, 79-69, and he had 14 in the game. Still to come in the SEC, number 11 A&M trying to avoid an 0-3 start in conference play, hosting LSU. Number 22 Arkansas visiting 13-1 Auburn. And later tonight, a top 25 showdown in Knoxville, 17th ranked Kentucky, and number 23 Tennessee. Conference is loaded. A reminder, tomorrow following the AFC wildcard game, the road to the Final Four continues on CBS at 4:30 Eastern when top-ranked Michigan State visits Ohio State in a Big Ten battle. Thank you for watching AT&T at the half. I'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for watching CBS Sports presentation of AT&T at the half.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Sonic. This is how you Sonic. The Quicksilver card from Capital One. And by AT&T. Sophie Dassey providing our halftime entertainment. Kids, don't try that at home. My goodness, that was impressive. Everyone's mouth is agape here as we get set first half stats brought to you by Reese's as the Gators endure that early uppercut punch by the Tigers. And erase a 10-point deficit and take a 1-point lead as we sit in here for the second half. Spero Dedes and Clark Kellogg, both of these teams getting big road wins in conference play earlier this week, and a Gators team still relying on some of their freshmen. Clark showing some fight, coming back and taking the lead.
I thought they did a nice job adjusting defensively. Seth Davis talked about it in the studio. Personal fouls and turnovers hurt Missouri a little bit in that last 4-minute segment, but give Florida a lot of credit. They grinded away, methodically got back into the game. 12-3 run to end the half. Kulichov had 11 points. Keith Stone got a couple of buckets, also assisted on one during part of this first half run that Florida made to take the lead. Impressive work done by the Gators there to just stay the course. Wasn't an open court game, which is where this team has thrived, and Chiozza has not been as impactful as normal, so good work by the Gators. And now can Missouri adjust and get that inside-outside game reestablished here in the second half?
Yeah, a couple of statistical nuggets, and Clark just mentioned one. Chris Chiozza did not score in the first half, averages just over 13, their senior leader. And for Missouri, Clark, Cassius Robertson, who came in scorching hot, 23 in their win at South Carolina and 20+ in their last 3 games. Right. Just 3 points. Didn't score until late in the first half. He's averaging a shade under 16 points. So kind of an interesting first half in terms of how it went.
Other guys stepped up. Florida got 17 points from its bench. So pretty equal distribution between the starters and bench scoring for the Gators.
This is Kayvon Allen, and Kavarius Hayes underneath is there to clean it up.
Anytime you get that penetration, Spiro, with the pass or the dribble, it opens up offensive rebounding lanes if that shot is missed.
Hayes disappointing the first 2 months of the season with big expectations on his shoulders, but he's been better of late, playing a little closer to the basket, as Mike White told us last night.
Yep, stay in your lane, and usually you perform better.
Shot clock down to 5. This is Robertson, the graduate transfer from Canisius, underneath, taking a hard hit. And he will shoot free throws for the Tigers.
Nice job here by Kayvon Allen. Good penetration, jump stop. And there's the offensive rebound. Again, typically 2 or 3 guys are going after that shot. Leave somebody free on that backside board, and it was Hayes there.
So here's Robertson, 78% free throw shooter. In the midst of his best stretch of his career, started his collegiate career at Canisius out in Buffalo, their leading scorer last season at 16 per game. Kind of brought in to be a supporting cast player around Michael Porter Jr. Of course, Porter out with the injury, and Robertson has suddenly become one of their go-to scorers.
And he's capable of getting hot in a hurry because he makes the 3. Good pass.
Keith Stone with a chance at a 3-point play.
Excellent ball movement. That ball gets swung side to side. Good cut. Chiozza, penetration, and a nice job by Kayvon Allen. Jump stop. Actually, just a good, solid 2-foot stop. He never left the ground. But a good catch and finish by Stone, and that's the 3rd foul on Jontay Porter, but Cuonzo Martin electing to have the young fella stay out there with 3. I like that.
Shows you the trust that he has in his freshman.
And also, you've got an advantage if you can get the ball inside to Porter against the smaller Chiozza. Take your time, don't force it. Good look.
Barnett from deep. Splash. And we are tied at 40-18 for Barnett.
Spiro, I see guys in the NBA not make that pass as well as this kid made it. He's looking for that diagonal. That just points to his basketball understanding.
Well, there's more than one Porter kid in that family who can play. This is Kulichov, a little bit too much on the 3. Hayes, the rebound. But as he hits the deck, it's a traveling violation.
Man, you hate to see that effort not pay off, boy, because he went and got that rebound between 2 Tigers, just unable to keep his balance there.
It's only the 4th Florida turnover. It's been an efficiently played game for both of these teams.
I think they only had 5 turnovers in that, actually 7 turnovers in that win against Texas A&M.
And this is who they are. 8th fewest turnovers in the country on average, just over 10 per game. What a pass underneath as those two play the two-man game per year to Porter. These bigs are multifaceted, Clark. They can play with their back to the basket, good passing, as you just saw from Porter, and per year returns the favor.
Yeah, skilled guys in that low post area. Tillman Jr. has the 3 fouls, so he's not on the floor currently.
That was the third personal on Kayvon Allen as Porter hits the first. Wednesday on CBS, don't miss a powerful new episode of the show critics say deserves a salute. All new SEAL Team Wednesday, 9/8 Central on CBS. So here's Jontay Porter, the freshman, brother of Michael Porter Jr. from right here in Columbia. Career high 19 points. He actually reclassified from 2018 to 17 to play with his brother Michael. And with Michael on the shelf with that back injury, Jontay has become an integral piece for Cuonzo Martin. Barnett clears underneath, and the Tigers have it in a 2-point lead. Missouri at 11-3. Got their first road win in conference play in 4 years earlier this week at South Carolina. And looking to stay perfect at home where they're 7-0 so far this season. 8 to shoot. Nice play by Hayes with the steal, and Stone collects the loose ball. What a pass underneath. Hayes had to get it inside, collects it, puts it down. Beautifully done by Hayes.
Big time run and catch by Hayes after he broke contact in the post defensively to come up with the steal.
These two young teams going back and forth per year. The Missouri kid and able to draw contact underneath. It's on Stone.
What a catch here by Hayes. Good look ahead by Chiozza, then regathered. Got up a good shot on balance. That's a heck of a play, both ends by Kavarius Hayes.
I remember Mike White talking about Hayes as a freshman a couple of years ago. Very intelligent player. He's big on the scouting report. Would always get deep into the scouting report. Something White says you rarely see from a freshman. Speaking of first-year players, Jeremiah Tillman, who's been quiet with a big bucket.
Boy, Hayes, after that spectacular catch, bobbled a simple one there.
This is Chiozza trying to reset. Crossover dribble, takes Geist baseline, can't hit. Knocked around underneath, and Porter takes.
Nice pass.
Barnett wide open. That's good. Missouri's lead back to 5 as we revisit our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Both of these teams relatively high scoring, and they can hurt you in transition. Good defense here by the Tigers. Porter with the board, push ahead to Geist. Now we're going to stop it here. Ball's here. Porter's coming into this spot, and then Barnett is streaking down the court to that three-point line. Defense in transition, cross-matched, wide open three. Mark it up. Jordan Barnett. Wet.
And Clark working up a nice lather. 21 for Barnett. He's 5 of 7, Clark, from 3. That matches his career high for made threes in a game. 7 of 11 shooting overall. And not to mention 7 rebounds for good measure. What a game he's put together, and what a stretch he has been on.
The efficiency, Spiro, is just remarkable. I mean, he doesn't take a lot of shots, but I tell you that reduction in his menu options has really paid dividends for Cuonzo Martin.
Martin knows his dad, goes back a long way with his father.
Yep.
Back to St. Louis. Has known Jordan since he was a little kid. What a player he's become for Cuonzo here in Columbia as Keith Stone comes right back for the Gators. It's a 2-point game.
Well, I tell you, this kid has a lot of game. I was surprised at how thick he is when we saw him yesterday in practice. And he's mobile. He's got a nice touch. Offensive foul on, I'm not sure it was a Tiger. It may have been Phillips.
Tomorrow, it's finally playoff time, featuring two teams that ended their long postseason droughts. Tyrod Taylor and the Bills running into one of the NFL's toughest defenses, the Jaguars. AFC wildcard showdown. The day begins with JB Phil coach Nate Boomer. NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines, noon Eastern, right here on CBS. And of course, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo will have the call. Tracy Wolfson on the sidelines. New England will play the lower seed, the team that advances. Of course, that Tennessee-Kansas City game comes your way later today, 4:20 Eastern kick, about a 2-hour drive from where we are here in Columbia, out in Kansas City, and plenty of Chiefs fans in the building, Clark.
Yes, sir. Well, it'd be nice to see them advance in the playoffs, wouldn't it? At least for me, just as a casual fan.
Wild season for the Chiefs. Started 4-0, top of that AFC West before things kind of went south. It's nothing like the NFL postseason, and we'll have it for you tomorrow right here on CBS. Spiro Dedes, Clark Kellogg, Ken Mack, our producer, Jim Cornell, our director, rest of our CBS crew from Columbia, Missouri. Here's Chiozza. He's still, by the way, looking for his first points. Here comes Stone, absorbing contact. What's the call here? It's a blocking foul against Missouri. Suddenly, Keith Stone becoming a go-to player offensively for the Gators.
Yeah, Mike White told us yesterday that he's got a nice post-up game, and they want to start trying to take advantage of that. And they're going to give that foul to Tillman Jr., and it is his fourth and a tough call. Appeared as though he may have been there in good legal position. Was a tad late on the call. I thought he was there. Tough break for the second game in a row now. Foul trouble derailing his time on the court.
Tillman has only played 7 minutes so far, so he has to sit with his fourth. And at the 14:50 mark of the second half, the Gators are within one.
Well, this is where Missouri plays through, I think. There's Barnett.
Contact, and he just keeps on coming against this Florida defense.
I thought it was in the hole because we were right on line with where he released that shot from our broadcast position here. And it just came up short because of the foul. And he's almost automatic from that strike. He's 94%?
93, just under 94%.
I round those things up. How do you shoot 93.8 from the line?
It's incredible.
It's 94. If it's 0.5 or more, I go to the next number.
Well, I can promise you your math skills are better than mine, Clark. Cornett misses on the second.
I'd have to drop it below 94.
So here's Barnett, the St. Louis kid whose pop goes back a long time with Cuonzo Martin. An incredible hot streak that he's been on. And so Clark has been talking about 18 at South Carolina. And just under 19 points on average over his last 9. Chiozza wide open, and finally his first points.
That's a major breakdown there. You can't leave the pumpkin. That's the most important thing on the court, the ball. And just a mix-up there defensively by Missouri, and Chiozza made them pay for it.
This is Terrence Phillips, the junior point from Los Angeles. Barnett, more contact in and out, and Stone cleans the glass.
And neither team has really been able to get the transition game going. A credit to both squads for having balance defensively.
Chiozza from deep, and Florida back in front.
Yeah, you know these top scorers and top players for their respective teams aren't going to stay quiet all game long. I'd expect Cassius Robertson to get going a little bit here before it's over, too.
5 straight for the senior point guard. And Florida's leader to put them back in front. 7 to shoot. This is Phillips. Into the corner. Robertson from deep.
Can you hear me over here? You can't hold those top players down for a full game most times. And Chiozza back-to-back hoops his first. He's looking at another one.
It's the old heat check.
Yeah.
Not that time for Chiozza, so a 1-point lead for the Tigers in a game that has seen 2 evenly matched teams in the SEC. Robertson. This is Porter. Puts it on the deck. Good ball movement. 9 to shoot. Robertson, little stop and go dribble. Phillips. And the rebound cleared weak side by Gak. Off the floor comes Stone. Little Euro step. Left it short. Follows his own miss. Chiozza.
Well, good look at the three off the offensive rebound with the defense scrambling. Chiozza just unable to bring it up. Well, good action here. As we anticipated, Spiro, these teams evenly matched. And it's conference play. You rarely see blowouts in conference play.
What a play by Robertson. Showing the handle and then contorting his body in a very tight window to give the Tigers a 3-point lead. And the foul against Phillips just after the inbounds is his third personal.
Cassius Robertson starting to awaken. Hit a three a moment ago, and then the slithering eel-like drive up and under the big guy, Gak.
Robertson, the former star at Little Canisius College out in Buffalo, New York. Making a name for himself quickly here in Columbia, Missouri.
You have a three-point jumper. That thing will travel all levels.
Here's Chiozza trying to set the table for Hayes. Poked away. Nicely done by Reed Nico, the sophomore. Making a contribution off the bench.
Thought that was a case where Chiozza predetermined what he was going to do and didn't adjust to what the defense provided there.
Robertson trying to find Puryear, who's fronted off the elbow by Ballard. 6 to shoot. Nico wide open, and he is denied. Interior toughness from Stone and Hayes for the Gators.
You got to come stronger than this, Nico. Stone, get it out of here.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Lexus. Experience amazing. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. And by Verizon, the most awarded network ever. Mizzou Arena in Columbia. Big battle in the SEC early on. Clark, an SEC that is very deep and strong. Some of your questions early on.
Well, questions abound across the landscape in college hoops and conference play, but is Auburn for real? Yes, that's a yes. They're deep, they're talented, playing at both ends of the floor well. Will Texas A&M be able to ferment on the fly, come together? They've had a couple of suspensions to key players, some key injuries. That team is probably the most balanced and talented team, experience and talent in the league. And then can Kentucky ripen up enough to win the SEC? Question 2, to be determined. That's a TBD, my answer. And then Kentucky ripening up like yeast turning into rolls. You can count on that one.
I love you, brother. A&M, by the way, is up early against LSU. And Clark, I have experienced the first time I've ever heard the word ferment worked in on a basketball broadcast. That's why Clark is one of the best. Jordan Barnett, meantime, continues to light up the Gators. 26 points for the senior from St. Louis. And that is a new career high for Barnett. And suddenly Mizzou's lead is back to a half dozen. Geist. Robertson bobbled for a moment. They reset, 14 to shoot. Robertson. This is Puryear from deep. Not his shot. Barnett weak side rebound, and he'll step to the free throw line.
Oh, you love watching this kid work. Conzo told us it's about simply letting Barnett be. He's going to give you great effort, and if he produces, great, fine, but if not, he's still going to give you the consistent effort.
He told us this morning that Barnett is the most even-keeled kid that he's ever coached, and he had to kind of learn that with him. You know, you press him, he'll give you the same response, the same kind of stat line, same performance. Maintains his composure, and when he gets it going like he does today in what is a new career high, There's really nothing you can do to stop him. 8 of 13 from the field. He's hit 6 of 9 from deep. And those 6 threes are new career high as well.
You know, there's something liberating about having less things to worry about. He's taken the mid-range jumper out of his arsenal. So all he's doing now is catching and shooting threes, moving without the ball, cutting to the bucket, offensive rebounds, and driving straight line. And he has thrived to the point of a career high today.
I'll tell you what, for a kid who's got a limited menu, he eats. That's Hayes, and look out. A whistle blown. Fans didn't like that call as Hayes will shoot free throws. Gators suddenly in an 8-point hole, and that is number 4 against Jonte Porter. Very minimal contact.
Yep. Hayes just didn't get it to go down. Elevation wasn't where it needed to be. And that was Casper committed that one. I don't think there was any contact. Let's take another look. Reach, miss, air ball. Air ball on the foul and an air ball on the dunk. Tough call here. Long way to go, and that 4th foul on Porter.
The officials aren't perfect.
No,
they
no
certainly miss calls. That'll be one they wanted.
Part of the game, Spiro.
That they want back.
Yeah.
How does Missouri compose itself now with their lead at 7?
There's hundreds of calls made typically in a game, and I rarely see a call determine the outcome of the game.
That is Geist from deep. And that deadly 3-point shooting from Missouri looming large. Chioza backs away, resets, 15 to shoot. Stone from the corner, that's good. Monstrous shot for the Gators.
Boy, this guy's got a lot in his book bag, boy. Keith Stone. Stroke it, post up, pass it. It'll be fun watching him develop the rest of this season.
Going pass by Robertson, a turnover as Hayes takes for the Gators.
Now, one of the things they did really well to this point against Chioza is pressure him, don't give him good, clean looks, and he banks that one in straight away. And then Missouri did a nice job in the first half not letting him get it back once he gave it up because he's such an orchestrator. They just want to continue to make him work. But Florida, as they've shown all day, continuing to grind away, which Mike White has to like because that's one of the areas he felt his team needed to grow in.
This was a Florida team that was ranked 8th in the AP preseason poll, up as high as 5th before that 3-game losing streak late November, early December. Mike White told us that he thought that they were a little bit overhyped early. Still trying to figure out what he has in this group, but boy, every time you think that they've been down for the count today, they just keep coming back.
Yeah, the resilience has been impressive. And still a long way to go. I mean, we've got a ton of basketball left here. And Okaru, who was instrumental in that first half surge that gave Florida the slim lead at the break, re-enters. Hudson on the floor as well. Kulachov, Hayes, and Chioza.
Cullen Van Leer's back onto the game for Missouri. Joins Geist, Nico, Robertson, and Barnett. Geist finds his spot. Did not hit a field goal in the first half. He's got 2 in the last 2 minutes. 5 for Geist. Hayes finds an opening, couldn't handle the pass. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow, however, favoring the Tigers.
Geist doesn't score a lot, but he's very efficient, making over half of his shots. Most of them come from the 3-point line. And he's come up with 2 big ones here.
Geist, the reserve player last year from Missouri. And for the first 2+ months this season, 3rd straight start today. As Blake Harris announcing that he is leaving the program as of yesterday. And so Geist, for the moment, is their starting point guard. Here's Robertson. Nico sticking it back. Chiozza. Beautiful pick and roll set up for Hayes. And a chance at a three-point play with Florida back to within 7.
Penetration leaves that offensive board loose. Nico with the throwdown. And then Hayes, catch and finish. Free throw when we come back. Jordan Barnett doing his J.O.B. knocking down threes. Career high for the senior. From not too far away, but he's got in the gym range. And rolling today.
Barnett came in red hot, but he has taken it to an even higher level. And look at the three-point shooting. Missouri 14th in the country in three-point accuracy, and that trend has continued as we welcome you back courtside. Barnett playing the best offensive game of his collegiate career.
Yeah, he's been in some kind of stretch here. The 9 games prior to today, 19 a game, and he's elevated that today, and they've needed it. But he's doing what he's been asked to do, embracing what his offensive job is, which is catch and shoot threes, transition, score, straight line drives, and offensive rebounds. And man, he's been excellent. But Florida with a chance for a three-point play as Hayes off that nice pick and roll before we went to the commercial converts. And a 2-possession game with another team that's lethal from behind the three-point line.
Florida looking for a second straight road win in SEC play after they went to College Station and beat the Aggies on Tuesday night. And meantime, for Missouri, we just can't overstate how far this program has come last year. Worst season in 50 years. They won only 8 games. Coaching change, of course. Cuonzo Martin has into the fold as Tillman back onto the floor and will shoot free throws, playing with 4 personals. It's a huge road win for Missouri earlier this week at South Carolina. What a big win this would be for them as they look for an 8th victory at home.
Florida came out of the timeout in his own defense that time. Well attacked by Missouri, the diagonal pass, and Tillman Jr. wishes he had that one back because that should have been an and one. Now he'll try to convert the second free throw. I thought Martin might try to tag team the 2 big guys as freshman Porter and Tillman Jr. Maybe he will. I think, yeah, he's exactly doing that. He's going to try to massage this last 7 minutes or so. Both of those guys have 4 fouls. So I think he'll try to keep one on the floor as long as he can. And then, again, just kind of interchange them based on the situation.
So Porter back on the floor here at critical juncture of the game. And the chess match continues between Martin and White. What a drive and finish by Chiozza. How big has this kid been when his team has needed him most?
That's why he's one of my favorites to watch. He just keeps competing. He had a mismatch that time. Puryear was on him, and he saw that and started drooling, and then went right to the cup.
Chiozza, of course, authoring one of the iconic moments in Florida history. A game winner to beat Wisconsin in the tournament at Madison Square Garden last spring. This is Porter, and he is swatted by Stone. And this kid's confidence continuing to grow. Stone coming over with a beautiful help defense. Another look at Chiozza.
Yeah, no chance here for Puryear. He was in a half stance and giving up speed, foot speed to Chiozza, and then Stone. He's been excellent all game long. He's really impacted both ends of the floor, Keith Stone. Defensively, he's come over and helped a couple of times. Made some key passes and shots. Nice looking second-year player.
Both of those Gators blocked by Stone. Shot clock about to expire. Tillman. How did he do that? Eight points for the freshman. Kayvon Allen back onto the floor for the Gators. This is Kulichov, who's been quiet. Inside against Barnett. And free throws coming up.
The benefit of being at home, because Tillman Jr. got a lot of help from the fans here in Mizzou Arena. They alerted him to the fact the shot clock was melting away.
Tonight at 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, PBR returns for an all-new season as the 25th anniversary tour gets underway. Don't miss the Monster Energy Bucking Battle at the Garden, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. If you've just joined us, this has been an SEC battle, Florida and Missouri. Gators ranked as high as 5th in the country, currently unranked, but coming into their own. And what has been a big week for them, trying to stay with the Tigers here down 6. This is Geist in the corner.
Nice rotation.
Whistle blown underneath. Tillman Clark is fouled underneath by Hayes, away from the basketball.
I thought that was nice rotation by Florida because that ball hopped inside and out pretty fast, and then the foul bails out Missouri.
So 1-1 for Jeremiah Tillman, the freshman out of East St. Louis, Illinois. One of the weaknesses of his game. End of the day, only 46% at the line. He hit a couple earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, unable to put that one down. Here comes Chiozza. And that'll be a foul against the Tigers. Boy, everyone in the building thought travel.
So did I.
And Cuonzo Martin can't believe it.
Let's take a look. Chiozza. Oh, that's incidental contact there. Chiozza created it all. That's incidental in my book.
And Tillman has fouled out, and those last two on Tillman were very, very tough to take for Missouri. So Tillman has done 8 points on a day that he played only 8 minutes due to the foul issues. So here's the senior Chiozza, all 10 of his points since halftime. And how does this game turn here with Missouri's lead only at 5?
Well, certainly Cuonzo would have liked to have had Tillman a little while longer. Now you've got Jontay Porter out there with 4 as well. And the young fella going to have to try to make it the rest of the way without picking up another one. That would really put Missouri in a bad way.
See what Chiozza has done after a scoreless first half. And now where do the Tigers turn for offense?
I think Cassius Robertson is an answer. He's got to be ready to attack on the dribble.
Geist finds his spot. Back of the rim, front rim, no. Offensive rebound, Barnett poked away. Gators have it. Here comes Chiozza weaving up the floor. Backdoor Kulichov, no. And Porter clears. And these two teams continue to punch back and forth. Geist. And boy, he is nearly tackled to the floor by Allen. And his temper's now starting to flare. It has been intense. Everything you want.
To be. Intense, hard-fought, competitive, a lot at stake. And yeah, he got banged around pretty good there, did Jordan Geist. We'll get a chance to knock down free throws, but we're going to first have a replay review, I think, to make sure nothing flagrant transpired. That's my guess.
So the call is a common foul on the floor against Igor Kulichov. Now the officials will go to the monitor to determine if there was anything excessive.
Let's see. Scrum, contact, twice.
Just good, clean, hard basketball defense.
Yeah, that's
perhaps
pretty,
that little kind of lean in at the end of the play.
That's insignificant, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you. Can't imagine that they'll need to look at this.
No, it should be over pretty quick. Yeah.
Well,
no, he didn't know. He just no. There's no contact there. He basically just took his arm out aggressively and in a demonstrative way, but there's no contact. I mean, that's an errant chicken wing that wasn't intended to hit anybody. He's just flinging his arm. And I don't think there was anything else that we were overlooking.
No, nothing after that.
Yeah, the foul was on Allen. There's a bump. There's a foul there. There's 2 fouls there. So they got a foul call, and then nothing. Nothing.
Again, our officials, Don Daly, Olandis Poole, and Garrick Shannon. So again, the call is a common foul against Kulichov.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it looks like nothing further will be called by the officials.
Now, I proposed a shot clock for replay review. So for those kinds of circumstances there, I mean, it shouldn't take more than 10, 15 seconds. I mean, again,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you know.
Every sport should put a time limit on that review process.
You want to get it right. That doesn't mean that you adhere to the time limit, but at least know it's there so that there's an urgency about moving through your progression of getting it right.
Geist hits the front end. How much time would you give him?
Well, the player's got to play with a 30-second shot clock. I'd give him 45 seconds.
Can't figure it out in 45 seconds to stay with the call on the floor.
Yeah, I'd give it 45 seconds. With room to go beyond that based on the circumstance.
This is Kulichov, finds his spot, whistle, and a foul. And the young Russian national back to the free throw line. And will shoot two.
Well, we're starting to look at the foul situation now. Both teams are shooting the rest of the way. Has been that way for a minute. And both teams pretty good at the stripe. Florida 78%. Take it away, partner.
Thursday on CBS. Catch tomorrow more in a new episode of SWAT. Thursday, 10/9 Central, only CBS.
And Missouri is 73%, so pretty good free throw shooting team. And obviously in a one-possession game, that could be huge. There you see Missouri a little better than its norm, and Florida subpar for its normal standard.
Tigers with possession, their lead down to 3. The freshman center, Jeremiah Tillman, having fouled out after some strong minutes. Puryear turns and is turned back by Hayes. And last touch by Missouri.
Big time get by Hayes. Timed it perfectly. That's a heck of a block there. That's still ascending. Certainly didn't appear to be on its way down. Good block.
Hayes getting his money's worth with that defensive gem. Here comes Kayvon Allen. A little bit short. Offensive rebound. Kulichov, and the shot clock resets.
This is where Chiozza likes to make it happen. Ball screen, attack with the dribble, and then create oneself for somebody else. He keeps that dribble alive most of the time. Good job by Porter.
Hayes. Mismatch against Geist. No. Hayes back up. Two good looks, couldn't put it down.
Phenomenal effort by Hayes, but just unable to finish. Let's see what Cuonzo Martin wants now. They're going to space it out. Oh, some type of ball screen action for Robertson. Here comes Puryear. Got a screen without fouling, though. He's a pick and pop guy.
7 to shoot. Robertson blocked by Hayes, and a foul is called.
I think he might have got him down below because up top, that was all ball.
Number 3 on Hayes. Robertson to the line when we come back. Missouri and Florida heating up as we come down the stretch. 3 and change remaining in this second half. Tomorrow on the road to the Final Four, it is a Big Ten matchup featuring the number 1 team in the country, Michigan State, behind Tom Izzo, taking on Ohio State. 4:30 Eastern right here on CBS. Our good buddies Andrew Catalon, Bill Raftery will have the call, and we will be watching for that. What a season it's been so far for the Spartans.
Boy, they are so good. I watched the game just earlier this week against Maryland, and they were uber impressive the last 30 minutes at both ends of the floor. It'll be a tall task for the surprising and improving Buckeyes, but Value City Arena will be rocking tomorrow, primed and ready and hoping for the upset.
That'll be out in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, not too far from home. And I tell you what, we've had a couple of tough calls go each way. That's why it's, to me, within the course of a game, the officials do such a really good job. And if they miss a couple, which I think they have on these blocks the last couple of times, there are enough plays in the game that it doesn't impact the outcome. You got to make shots. You got to not turn it over. So that's what we got down the stretch here. Which team is going to emerge and make the most good plays.
Hudson, their leading scorer, gets in their first bucket in nearly 4.5 minutes.
What a nice take there by Jalen Hudson. He's a bucket getter. Doesn't take him long. He can get it inside or out.
Their leading scorer at a shade under 17 per game. Cuts it to 3. The Gators are 10-4, 2-0 in SEC play against a Missouri team at 11-3. Looking for their second conference win. Robertson left it short, and Stone clears.
Nice job by Stone, who can switch out on the smaller guy and still be effective keeping the ball in front of him. Stone's had one heck of a game here today for the Gators.
Florida currently unranked after being as high as 5th. Kulichov from way outside.
Yeah, I think you got to find a touch for Barnett. You want to play inside out. Puryear is also an option in terms of the post up, but he's matched up with Hayes now. No switch. Trying to get it inside to Puryear.
Robertson, 5 to shoot. This is Porter playing with 4. Inside, masterfully done.
Need a quality shot here, Spiro. Does not have to be a 3 unless it's a good one off inside-out action or a defensive breakdown.
Here comes Hudson putting it down.
Love it.
And a chance at a 3-point play. Incredible effort by Hudson.
This is PhD level work in the post, folks. Up and under, excellent footwork, and then you go to your offhand. Hudson recognizing I don't need a 3. Let's put it on the floor and try to get to the rim, and he might get the 3 the old-fashioned way, and he does.
Hudson, a junior from Richmond, Virginia, 14 points off the bench. Has had some big games this season. 35 in the win over Gonzaga, 24 in their loss to Duke. Trying to put the Gators on his back.
High-level hoops here the last 5 minutes or so.
50 seconds. This is Barnett. Into the corner, Puryear. Shot clock at 2. Puryear has to force, well short, and off the hands of Porter, and it goes back to Florida. Boy, Mike White's team needed a stop, and they get it right there with 40.7 remaining.
10-second differential, but you rarely see 2 for 1 in the college game. And in this circumstance, you just want to make sure you get a quality look.
30 seconds. Kulichov puts it on the deck, swallowed up by Porter. Hudson, and he is fouled. Wow.
What a block by Jontay Porter, playing with the 4 fouls. Mad scramble, and Florida comes up with it. Nice drive by Kulichov. Good defense there by Geis, but Porter showing you that awareness and timing.
3 free throws for Hudson. First is good.
Oh, I didn't
and he
see
can give the Gators a 1-point lead.
Boy, I did not see a lot of contact there. It doesn't take much when you're challenging a shooter. The official thinks, let's look at it again. Robertson, I don't think one was there. Did not think there was a foul. Hudson with a chance to tie it.
All tied at 75, 20 seconds left.
They want a timeout. I just read Cuonzo Martin's lips.
Now your game reset, 17.4 seconds left. Florida able to tie the game with a couple of Jalen Hudson free throws. Missouri will have it, 17.4 left. The Tigers have led Clark for all but 3 minutes of this game. What's Cuonzo Martin want on this possession?
Yeah, I think he wants something inside. They got to go fairly quick, though. You don't want to. You want to take a shot where you have a chance for an offensive rebound, but you don't give Florida a chance for another possession. So that means you want to get a shot up, probably in that 4 to 5 second area, so that you have a chance maybe for a second shot attempt. You also could go with, we're going to take the last shot, and if we make it, we win. If not, we go to overtime. But I would like to see them do something where they have one of their set plays, either post up, dribble, drive it, pick and roll, whatever their best offensive option is for a quality shot, to do that with about 3 or 4 seconds left, so you have a chance for an offensive rebound. Because oftentimes in this situation, the defense is scrambling so much, if you get it up on the rim, you get a chance to get a putback. So let's see what Cuonzo decides here. They might go the last shot, win it, or overtime route.
Tigers do have 2 timeouts left. Shot clock is off, 10 seconds. This is Geist against Hudson. 5 seconds. Robertson stolen by Chiozza. 1 second, lays it up and in. 0.1 left. A defensive gem by Chiozza, and the Gators have stolen it here in Columbia. Incredible. The neck that this kid Chiozza has for the big moment is just remarkable.
He's special in that way. Clutch. We saw it in the game last year in the tournament. A running three-pointer at the buzzer. Here, anticipation, plenty of time. And Chiozza, as easy as it gets. Difference maker, impact player, small package, big-time impact.
Chris Chiozza, the senior from Memphis, stops the show with a theft and then a coast-to-coast layup to win it for the Florida Gators. All 13 of his points coming in the second half.
We talked about him at the top, how he makes this team go. Well, he just had them, he just set it up for them to go home a road victor.
For Clark Kellogg, Spiro Dina saying so long from Columbia. Coming up next, Inside College Basketball presented by Progressive Insurance. Tonight on CBS, NCIS and NCIS New Orleans, followed by a new edition of 48 Hours. Right now, we send you to Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, hello everyone, I'm Adam Zucker and welcome to Inside College Basketball presented by Progressive Insurance. A reminder, tonight on CBS begins with NCIS and NCIS New Orleans, followed by a new edition of 48 Hours tonight, only CBS. And in the game you just saw, what a dramatic ending. Mr. Chiozza and the Gators get it done, 77-75 over Missouri, as I'm joined by Seth Davis. Forget everything you saw down the stretch, all the calls you didn't like. It's Mr. Chiozza at the buzzer.
Well, he didn't shoot the ball well today. He had been battling some sickness earlier in the week. Who hasn't? But he ends up with having 6 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 steal. And it was a pretty good steal. By the way, you're the home team, supposed to get some pretty good calls at home. The 5th foul on Tillman was a phantom call, and I didn't like that foul on Hudson where he got to shoot 3 foul shots, made 2 of the 3, but it really was the Jordan Barnett show as he poured in a career-high 28. And when Missouri's making 3-point shots like that, that's what you call a long 3. They are awfully hard to beat. They had the advantage inside. Jonte Porter puts them up by 5 at that point, and this was the call that I didn't like. I mean, the ball landed kind of softly on the rim. Don't know how affected he was by the foul, but at the end of the day, this is the play that we'll all be talking about, and I know it's only January 6th, but should Missouri fail to make the NCAA tournament, this game and that play at the end of the game is definitely going to loom large. You got a quality team like Florida on your home court. Got to close out the win.
Or if the Gators do make it and, you know, get to the expectations that many had for them earlier this year. Just amazing that a guy can steal the ball and still have the sanity to make it before the buzzer. And what does it take to do that? Let's find out. Clark Kellogg with Chris Chiozza right now.
Chris, congratulations. Terrific job. It played out kind of how we thought, two evenly matched teams. Talk about your approach to the second half, because things hadn't gone well for you offensively in that first half.
You know, it's just I've been in college. It's my 4th year, so I know, you know, you don't have halves where you don't do too well. We didn't play terrible the first half, but we didn't follow the scouting report how we wanted. They got a lot of open threes, and, you know, we came out second half. Just wanted to make it harder on them, not let them get any open looks and get going again offensively. But they made some tough shots, and they're a good team, so it's hard to do that.
Yeah, impressive for you guys just to keep fighting, keep grinding away. How much of that is you being a guy who's been experienced in these situations before?
It's a big part. You know, I'm one of the leaders of the team, so a lot of guys, you know, when they look at me, you know, that's where they get their momentum from. You know, I'm always, you know, try to, you know, be even keel. You never see really much emotion on my face, but, you know, sometimes I got to show a little extra, get these guys going, and they really like it when I do, and that's what I try to do second half.
Talk to me about the last play now. They've got the ball, 17 seconds to go, looking, it appears, to take the last shot. What are you looking at, and what did you see that allowed you to make the play you did?
Well, I was just, you know, in the spots that, you know, Coach tells us to get in, just where you see both your ball and your man. And I saw the play developing with a down screen with a guard, so I knew he was going to pop for the 3, and, you know, my 2 guys got stuck on it, and I just made a read and made a rotation and was able to get there.
Have you finished one? Have you ever had, well, you had a game winner last year. How does that compare to this one?
Well, last year was in a tournament, so, you know, that's something I'm never going to forget. But, I mean, there's no bigger stage than this anyway, so it feels the same. I'm just excited we got this win, and it's not about that play. It's about how we played the whole game. So,
congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't think he's going to forget this one either. Just got it off right in the nick of time. .1 remaining when it went through. All right, let's get you caught up on other action right